Okay, this one is a grid view. I just want to run the program first, and we'll show you the output. How should be the output? Then you'll get an idea about what we are doing here. So this is the output grid view. I have put 10 images. So if you click on any particular item, it will print one pop-up message. Okay. For this one, we have to design it. So the first, we'll go to the file, select new project, select empty activity. Next, give a name and finish. Here, now all those images has to be copied into the folder drawable. So if you don't know how to do that one, you just right click on this drawable, select show in explore, it will open the window, and here open the drawable folder, and here you have to paste all the images. Okay, now each image is given a name. When I'm giving the name, I'll make sure that no capital letters are used, only small letters, and maximum I'll use the underscore symbol also. Now here we have to create two arrays here. The first array is to identify or store the images in an array format. So what we will do is that in the strings.xml file, we will create one integer array with the name emoji images. And here, when we are adding any item, the first thing is that you have to mention the folder name, where that, in which folder you have that image. So that is at drawable. So drawable is the folder name, then slash, and then the name of that image, whatever the name you have given. So you have to mention that one to make sure that it is in the correct order. For each image from 1 to 10, I've given the alphabetical order like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So you can see that emoji underscore A, emoji underscore B, underscore C, underscore D, and so on. So A is the first one, B is the second, C is the third one, and so on. You can give the numbers also. So that is, and you have to store that, you have to add the item into this integer array in the same sequence in which you want to display. Suppose if you want to display any image in the first place, in the first grid itself. So in that case, you have to add that item first. If you want some item to be displayed at the end, in that case, you have to add that item at the end. So this was about the integer array. The next is string array. What is the string array? Whenever you click on any image, any emoji, each emoji will have some meaning. So I want to display that meaning. So for in the same sequence, A to J, I have given the meaning of those items. Like first one is happy, second one is what, third one is cool, then lol, ha ha ha, blessing, amazing, good luck, all emoji. So you have to create one string array which will contain the corresponding meaning of each emoji stored in the integer array. So the first item here is related to the first item in this second string. Now the XML part is done. Here we need to create one adapter file which will behave like a bridge. So I'm going to create one file, Java file. So right click on this folder, com.example.test, right click, new Java class, and give the name as a image adapter and press enter. Which extends base adapter. Now, when you type, when you create the Java class, and then when you say that extends base adapter, it will give you an error. Now you can see here, one second, I'll highlight this one. Now you can see here one drop down menu is there. When you click on that one, it will give you two options. One is that implement method, and second one is image adapter abstract. Make them as an abstract. Now here this error is coming because whenever you extend it to the base adapter, it expects some of the methods to be implemented, or at least you have to declare it as an abstract. So here we have to implement that one. So I'm going to select the first one, select implement. So when you implement that one, it will say that these are the methods that you have to add it. Either you can select one or two, or you can select all. I'm going to say that I need all of them. So press OK. So when you press OK, the code is automatically generated, and the required method library functions are also imported. Now, the first thing is that in this base image adapter, we should be able to identify the images that we have stored. That is in the strings.xml. So here we have to create one array of integers with the name thumb image, and then using the r.redrawable dot and then the name of the image file, followed by the comma. You can select all of them from A to J. For example, whenever you say that r dot drawable dot, and then it will give you the list of all the things which are in the drawable folder. As you can see, all the images are there. Okay, apart from the two basic images which are always there. So you can see that A to J, all the files are there. You just select one of them. So you have to select in the same sequence, A to J, or the sequence in the same way. Next is that we have to identify the context. So I'm going to create an object of the class context, and I'll say that image adapter has a context C, which is nothing but the M context, which one we have created, and whichever you pass it to this particular adapter, that will be the context. Now the get count, we already have one. We have created one array. So in order to get the how many elements are there, so in that case, all you have to do is that the code has already been generated. You just have to specify the code, which will calculate the count, how many elements are there in the integer array that we have created, which has all the information about what is the first image, what is the second image, what is the third image, and so on. Okay. Then go to here, get view method. Return null is there, which you can remove that one and write the following code. Okay, the first thing is that you have to create an object of the class image view, which will decide what is the context. The context is the one which we are passing. The next one is that you have to set the layout of the image view. The layout, like what is the width, what is the height. So each image will have one height and width. No, that is mentioned here. Suppose if you want a bigger picture in each grid, in that case you can specify that one here, 400 into 400 and 400, 100, 100, 50, 50, depending upon your requirement. And where you want to place it, we want to make sure that this scale type is center. That is, it will be placed at the center. And just like the set text method, if it is involves the images, we have to use set image resource. And what is the resource? Resources, all the resources are mentioned in the integer array thumb images of I, right? And then we have to return image view. So this particular code is only to make sure that the whatever the content you want to display it onto the grid, that will be fetched, and it will create the complete grid, and it will return it to the main activity.java file. Okay, we haven't designed anything. No? Okay, go back to the design part. Click on the legacy, and the last option is GridView. Just drag and drop. By default, it will cover everything because by default it will be match parent. So if you don't want it to be completely over the entire page, in that case you can resize it. And when you resize it, you have to bind it. And this one, by default, it doesn't give any name to that one. So you have to mention the ID. So I'm going to create an ID for this particular component. Let's say grid view demo, that will be the ID. Now the next is how many rows and columns you want. So here we have to specify how many columns we want. I'm planning to display 3 columns. So you have to find the property num column, that is number of columns. So just scroll it down. You see here num columns. Just click it here and press 3. So that will make sure that this grid will display 3 columns. Now, depending upon the array size, it will keep on adding those things. If it is only only one element will be displayed. If there are 6 images are there, in that case, 2 rows will come. If there are 9 elements, then in that case, 3 elements will come. But the column is fixed. Only 3 columns will be there. Now, just like in the previous example, we first thing is that we have to fetch what that each image means. For that, we have to first is that we have to create an array of strings and then use the get resources dot get string array of r dot array dot, and then you have to give the array name. Okay. Then we have to identify the grid view in the design part and bind it, or create a connection between the design part and the coding part. So that can be done by creating one object of type grid view and then using the find view by id r.id.grid view demo. We are creating a connection between the design part and the coding part. So from once this line is executed, from now onwards, whenever you want to refer to the grid view in the design part, you have to use only this particular line, only this particular object gv. Whenever you are saying the gv, it will refer to the grid view of the design part. Then we have to set the adapter. Now the grid view, for that particular grid view, we have created one separate adapter of our own, which is mentioned in the image adapter class. So we have to set that adapter. That can be done using the coding gv.set adapter of new image adapter of this. So whatever the adapter, whatever the grid is returned by the image adapter, that will be set to this particular grid view. If it is returning the 3 elements, that 3 elements will be displayed here. Now this was about the displaying from, and here we have to identify which particular item the user has clicked, and then depending upon that one, we have to display appropriate message. So I'm going to write the code one more time so that you will get an idea about what is this. gv dot set on item click listener you have to select, and then inside that one new adapter view on item click listener. So as you can see, the entire code is generated. So inside this one, you have to write the code for the toast. First parameter is the page, that is main activity. Second parameter is the message. And then I want to concatenate the emoji description array so that appropriate message will be displayed. And inside that one, I have to give the, and then the third parameter is the length, toast dot length. I'm going to keep it short, and then dot show. Now let's run the program and check. Okay, it's working.